I want you to close your eyes for a moment and picture a leader, any leader. What do you see? Do you see somebody who makes all the decisions and hands out commands to everyone else because he's the expert? Somebody who gives orders and controls the outcome of any given situation for the ideal outcome for his group or cohort? Do you see a master of strategy, moving people and resources as if on a chessboard, carefully manipulating the field to pull out a win against opposing forces? Do you see someone who swoops in like a superhero, defeats the opposition, and saves the day? Well, if any of those are what you're seeing, you're not picturing a leader. What you're picturing is either a manager or a comic book character. Now, don't get me wrong, good managers have their place and can do a lot of good, but they don't necessarily belong in positions of leadership. When we're talking about government, especially at the local level, what we need isn't management, but real leadership. Okay, so then what does a real leader look like? Well, to begin with, a leader leads. When a leader sees a problem, the leader begins not with questioning who is to blame or what program or initiative is going to bring about the most financially beneficial outcome. The true leader begins by asking himself what he can do on his own to fix the problem. Where the problem is too big to be solved alone, the leader will ask for help and may need to know how to find the right people to assist, but the leader actually leads. Leaders also think differently than managers because managers are more preoccupied with operations of programs and initiatives, seeking optimal outcomes according to the numbers, and the marking off of benchmarks. How does all of this affect individual people? Well, that's a secondary concern because to the manager, the benchmark, the goal, the program itself, the thing to be achieved is what matters. Leaders don't think in these ways because leaders focus on the people. Leaders know that the other half of a leader is the follower, and that if anyone is going to truly follow, it needs to be a willing arrangement. Therefore, truly effective leaders don't rely on power and coercion, but on compassion and persuasion. True leaders will have a vision for what can be achieved, a better world that can be built through a cooperative effort, and will work to show those they intend to lead how they will all get there together. Such an effort relies on and values the individuality of the people being led, asking for their cooperation and winning it over rather than commanding it or extracting it from them. Managers may have a destination that they have in mind, but as their focus is on reaching the destination at all costs, managers don't value individuality, but demand conformity and will take reaching that desired destination with success measured in acceptable losses, ignoring those who are hurt by programs and initiatives, where a true leader will seek to leave nobody behind. And so we find ourselves here in Osawatomie, with the city manager cracking down on people with fines for nuisance violations, working to enforce his own idea of acceptable appearances, even apparently controlling the ability of the poor in town to have housing of their own at a rate that they can afford with trailer homes. Of course, this is only a small part of how Osawatomie is being managed, but when you really start looking, it doesn't take long to see that there is no real, actual leadership in Osawatomie. Certainly not from the current mayor who reads the agenda at city council meetings and takes his own orders from the city manager, since the city manager is supposedly the real expert around here. I was asked recently, when talking about the current problems with nuisance violations in particular, what solution I would propose, if not the solution that is currently being enacted. Well, my answer is simple. If there are truly homes that are becoming unsightly and a notice really becomes necessary, I would authorize a notice to be given, but on the notice, rather than a fine, I would offer a list of local people and businesses who could be hired to come do the work, and if they really could not afford any of those options and were truly unable for whatever reason to take care of their lawn, then they could call me, the mayor, and I would be willing to take care of it myself. Thing is, this isn't actually a hypothetical because this is what I'm already doing. What I volunteered to do this year, long before even thinking about running for mayor, as soon as I heard of the burdens being placed on people in town by the punitive arm of Osawatomie's management-focused government. Funny thing is, as soon as I volunteered this and posted it online, more people started popping up saying they would also volunteer to mow people's lawns. And that, essentially, is what leadership really is. It's somebody seeing a problem, stepping forward to help with the problem, simply because it's the right thing to do, and then others following suit. You don't even need me to be a leader. Anyone in town can be a leader by just stepping forward and working to help where help is needed, just because it's needed. Right now in Osawatomie's government, we have no leaders. Not on the city council, not in the mayor's seat, and certainly not in our city manager. Managers restrict and stifle liberty. Leaders enhance and guide it. While we do need effective management of the city's budget and other basic responsibilities, we don't need management of the people themselves as we have now. Me personally, I vote for actual leadership. I vote for liberty. How are you going to vote? Thank you for watching, and please write in Oliver Tanner for Mayor of Osawatomie.